For years, from my late teens until now, every time I went to a doctor for any reason, I would be chastised for being overweight. My name is Ben, and I suffer from morbid obesity. Morbid obesity, I'm not too fond of the term. To me, and I believe most normal people, morbid means an unhealthy interest in disturbing and unpleasant subjects. And obesity, well, that's just another way of saying that one is fat. So I prefer to be described as obese. The word fat conjures up too many negative stereotypes in today's society. Don't get me wrong, there have been times in my adult life when I managed to shed the extra pounds and reach a weight that society did find acceptable, even if the medical profession didn't. According to one doctor, for my height of 6'2", my weight should be 175 pounds. Right, I never saw that weight, but I did lose over 100 pounds at age 18, courtesy of a motorcycle accident. Since then, my weight has fluctuated from one extreme to the other, mainly depending on what fad diet I tried or what medication I was taking. Looking back, I thought Atkins was the perfect diet, at least the way I followed it. Bacon and eggs for breakfast, or a cheesesteak omelet with a side of sausage if I happened to go to Waffle House. I would eat steak for dinner with steamed broccoli covered with melted cheese and a tossed salad covered with ranch dressing. You know, I thought to myself, this diet is great. I lost 70 pounds in 5 months. But all good things must come to an end. Unfortunately, high protein diets cannot be sustained, and once carbs are added back to your meals, the pounds are added back to your body. Next came portion control and a daily exercise regimen. I had an opportunity to visit a weight loss resort. That's code name for Fat Farm. For 2 weeks, I survived daily 3-hour exercise sessions, prepared meals, devoid of any taste, and wellness classes. I've never served in the military, but I thought to myself, is this what boot camp is like? I did lose 17 pounds, but when I returned home, the pounds followed me back. Don't get me wrong, it was a great experience, but not practical in the real world. Next came medication. At this point, I had changed primary care providers to be in-network for a new group insurance plan offered by my employer. On my first visit, my new doctor said, "Mr. Davis, you are severely overweight." I replied, "Doctor, you're the first to make this diagnosis." We both laughed, and he prescribed Phentermine. It worked. I started losing weight, but moved more slowly than I had in the past. But just like a high-protein diet, Phentermine is not a long-term solution. Fast forward several months to another open enrollment and yet another primary care provider. "Mr. Davis, I'm concerned about your weight." I replied, "Me too, doctor," as I gave him a Reader's Digest condensed version of my weight struggles. "I'm going to run some tests, but has anyone ever talked to you about insulin resistance?" "No, doctor. I'm not even sure what insulin resistance is." A few days later, metformin was prescribed. I tried to take this medication, but the side effects were just too much. On my follow-up visit, we discussed bariatric surgery. I considered this as an option, but before I could move forward, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. For you men out there that may be facing this disease, email me, and I'll be glad to share my experience with you. Once I completed my radiation treatments, I began considering bariatric surgery again. But before I could set up my first consultation, the pandemic hit. So much for good intentions. Fast forward 2.5 years, and I'm now retired and watching the news about this new drug called Mounjaro. Because of my A1C and lab test results, my new and hopefully my last primary care provider was more than willing to prescribe this new medication for me. Getting it filled at my local pharmacy is a different story and will be the subject of a future video. I hope you will subscribe to my channel and click on the notification bell to follow me on what will hopefully be my last weight loss endeavor. I'll try to create a weekly video, even if it's just a YouTube short, to keep you posted of my progress. Thank you for tuning in, and please feel free to comment or ask any questions.